Are you renting, but you're not quite sure what you can afford in today's rate environment? Well, this video is for you. And if you're not renting, maybe share this with someone who is. Okay, we're going to use some math to help prove the truth in buying versus renting. And we're going to use a real-world example. So here you can see a $400,000 home with 10% down, borrowing $360,000 at a rate of, let's say, 6.5%. Now, I want to make this scenario as ugly as possible, so we don't look biased or anything like that. So let's say you bought the home today at a 6.5% rate, but you never refinanced. And on top of that, just to ensure we put all the negatives into home buying, let's say you stayed in the home for 9 years, which is the average length of time people stay in their home. And let's include property taxes and also some repairs too. So, assuming you're in the home for 9 years, your real estate property taxes will probably increase 2% per year. And let's assume repairs of $2,000 a year, because, if you're renting, your landlord's paying for that. And don't forget, you also have to pay an agent when you sell the home, which is typically a 6% commission. So it sounds like I'm doing everything I can to convince you to rent, right? So in order to calculate that 6% commission to the realtors correctly, we're not going to calculate it off of the original $400,000 price, but we need to calculate it off of future value. So we're going to assume 4.75% appreciation per year. Now, if you rent a home for $400,000, let's say you probably rent it for $3,000 more, but maybe you're a really good negotiator, so you got a cheaper rent, $2,900 a month. And while historically rents increase by 5% a year, let's say you were really aggressive, you negotiated a 4% cap per year. So now that we have the details down, let's figure out, should you buy or should you rent? Well, if you look at this chart, you might say, wait a minute, I'm going to save $500 a month if I rent. Except that's before we're talking about the 4% rent increase per year. After 5 years, you're going to be paying more in rent. And over 9 years, you'll be paying $617 more a month in rent. But you know what most people don't know is you're actually going to pay a lot more in rent in that first year. And that's because part of your mortgage payment is principal. Principal is just your own money. It's a forced savings plan. So it's not really a true payment. It's just shifting money from your checking account to the equity of the home that you own. Either way, it's still your money. So how much does that come out over 9 years? Well, about $47,000 or more. Now, how about the other big one we didn't get to? Home appreciation. Historically, homes appreciate 4.75% per year over the last 63 years. More recently, it's been increasing more than that. But if we just use the 4.75% over the 9 years, you'll earn an additional $207,000, all because you chose to invest in an appreciating asset. And you also get a tax benefit. So over 9 years, you're better off by $216,000. And that's making every argument as good as we can get it. Now let's look at a net gain of buying a home over 10 years. Take a look at the first year. That's in red. You'd lose money if you sold after a year. The reason is because the cost to sell, to pay realtors, is going to be more expensive than the benefit of the first year of ownership. But after that, everything's green. So why wouldn't you buy this home if you're going to live there for 2 years and more? Because you don't like a 6.5% interest rate, but you probably like an extra $250,000. Does this math and logic help? Let me know below.